Good afternoon, folks. Okay, 8-minute record time. I can actually do a video here. So I'm trying to get back to doing these a little more frequent. What I wanted to show you real quick is how to do a gravity feed system with Dripline, off-grid. So this is the way and good, bad, or indifferent, I think it'll work. So of course I'm getting everything going, and I got a little extra drip there. So of course I started planting, and I'll make this a garden bed. I'm actually going to put a tree right there. No matter what I do to seal it, at some point in time there's always going to be a drip. So I'm just, every drop of water I want to make sure I utilize. But I'll tighten that up, and I'll actually put some PVC tape on those guys, plumber's tape, when I get a chance. Anyway, for right now, so what's happening is, I'm setting up these are the gravity feed systems, right? The totes that fill them to the top and let them completely drain on out. What I used to use is a pump to actually pump water far into the distance where the trees are planted and the garden is. However, you don't want to do that. It's not a sustainable solution. In fact, this is only a fun solution. I'm only messing with that because that was like $5 at Dollar General. When I'm doing manual watering and I want to be able to just do a quick timer, set it up for 60 minutes or whatever, because when you get busy, you're doing a million different things, and if you don't set a timer, like I think it's at 75 or whatever, it'll cut off in 75 minutes if I go make dinner and I forget, which happens all too frequently, and it drains out all my water, which the plants and trees love, but I don't want that. What you want is the tree, to get its root systems deep enough so that it can self-sustain. You don't want to be out here in 5 years watering the same course of trees. Anyway, so to determine how much pressure you need, and I just figured it out, as long as I don't run any more drip line, this actually is the level that I need. So how do I know that this level right here, this is the height right here of where I want to be? I don't want the bottom of the tote ever to be lower than this. And what I'll end up doing is putting, looks like it's probably 2 center blocks high. Lift these guys up. They're all going to be chained together. I think I might have 6 of them before it's all said and done. And they'll start here, because right here gives enough pressure to feed the drip line. I'll show you what I mean. We can walk the hose, and I checked all the other drip lines. They're all dripping. And the way the drip line works is, once you get so many feet of this stuff, you're losing pressure with every drip. So, and this isn't a drip line, this is a hose, but I'm trying to get to where we start. So right here, this is where the trees start right here. So I can see that this guy's dripping. He's kind of feeding a couple little pumpkins and other things I planted in the bed. And this is what, a fig. So, this line, it goes around and around, and it goes through the pomegranate and around, and it goes through this guy. And by the way, all these little drips in between, they're all going to be planted. So this whole thing is going to be covered with plants as well as mulch. But anyway, so we go around and around. So every little wet spot you see, it's a drop in pressure. Around and around, we come back around, all around town. Hit the pomegranate again. Why? Because pomegranate's delicious, and she's a little dry. Come back around and hit the, what is that, a peach? Round and around. And so the whole point is, you're going this whole length of it, and there's a little grapevine, without going into all of them. If you go to the end of the line, which is right here, you see there are no drips. No drip, no drip, bone dry, no drip, no drip, no drip. And that little moringa needs water, y'all. Moringa needs water. Anyway, flipping around, no drip, no drip, no drip, no drip, because what we're establishing is at the level that it's at, the height of the tote, which is uphill over there. Where does the pressure die? And it dies right here. This is the last drip. And so none of this is dripping. So what I know is the level it's at now, I never want it beneath the height of where that tote is. Otherwise, that means that the drip will always stop here, and everything after it will suffer. So you can see all those dripping in the distance, and the peach is very happy. She's got hers. But this guy, who is a plum, she isn't going to make it. So let's not do any plum racism, and make sure that the tote is high enough to give you enough pressure to make sure you can have an automated gravity feed system that it feeds your entire drip line with enough pressure where you're just gravity feeding, so you're not using electricity. Anyway, that's how I'm doing it. This will be a plot of trees. We'll see how that works out, but in between will be a veggie garden. So I'm just going to keep going till all of this is full in with all the plants that I've planted, covered by mulch. Hugelkultur, certain beds will be dug down, cheating, using the auger, shoving wood down in there, so this whole area becomes one big hydrated place. Next after that, the swales will go in uphill, so you'll have a couple swales, I think at least 2 swales coming across. That'll slow the water down coming off the hill so that it slowly hydrates these trees over, you know, a month or two. And then eventually I'll get up on top of there and I'll start doing my terraces way on top of the mountain. And that way you're actually slowing the water down, because if I can get the water slowing down up there, then it can take it a good 6 months to come all the way down before it feeds the trees. That's how you feed your trees in the drought, is you do terraces and swales on the hills, because all that water's running off and it just evaporates, and you're just slowing it down, putting it in the ground, hydrating the ground so it hydrates the trees. So, you know, and this is what I kind of mentioned before. So I've got a couple of those totes feeding this bed, and there are a couple garden beds also it feeds. And then I'm going to move on to the next one. Set up another tote, gravity feed system, drip line to all the trees, automate it so that all I'm doing is filling up the totes, walk away and do the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. A good Friday. Then again, what Friday isn't good? You guys have a good weekend. It's Gerard, greening my little portion of West Texas.